know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah, haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. And the other one.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And ice noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be
in trouble. What is up, y'all? What is good? Really quick, here it is. 911 call. Kicking it right off for you. Those of you guys missing it earlier. Let's see here.
911, what is the address of the emergency? Oh my goodness, somebody please go to my husband. He's in Bonner's Ferry. He was on the phone with me and he just all of a sudden yelled out and said he thought he got shot, and then all of a sudden the phone went dead. Okay, ma'am, I had a hard time understanding you, so can you take a deep breath and slow down for me? Because I couldn't understand what you said. Okay, I need somebody to get up to this address at 6811 South Main Street in Bonner's Ferry, Idaho. I was just on the phone with my husband, and all of a sudden he yelled and said, ow, ow, and then all of a sudden he goes, I think somebody just shot through the window into my side. And then all of a sudden, the phone dropped, and it went dead. He wouldn't answer. Boundary County? Yes, he's in Boundary County. Okay, stay on the 11 South Main Street. Hold on just a moment, okay? Hold on just a moment. Okay, I'm going to put you through to Bonner County. Okay, I want you to stay on the line. Don't hang up, and you need to explain that the emergency is at that location in Bonner's Ferry. Stay on the line. Okay. Stay on the line. Hello? Stay on the line. 911, what is the address of your emergency? Oh, please go to 6811 South Main Street.
Okay, so that's the first one. Now we're on to the second one, which is right here. This is when it gets tossed through.
conscious? I think he may not be. If he was conscious, he would have called me back. Are you able to do CPR on him? I'm not there. I didn't. This is the 911 up there. I'm 2 hours away. This is Bonner County with a transfer for a possible gunshot at 6811 South Main Street, Suite B at a chiropractor's office in Bonner's Ferry. Okay. Okay. And the caller is calling from 512-626-3618. Yes. She states that there was she spoke to a man who thinks that he just got shot. And then, I was on the phone with my husband. And then he stopped talking to her. Okay. Go ahead, caller. He just was on the phone talking. He just got done working. That's my husband. And all of a sudden he yells and he yelled, ow, ow. And I said, what's wrong? He goes, something just hit me, something horrible. I feel like a gunshot just hit my side. And then all of a sudden, it was like, and I kept yelling and trying to yell at him. I'm telling you, if he was conscious, he would have called me back. Okay, where's he at? What's the address there? He is at 6811 South Main Street, Suite B. It's Drake Chiropractic in North Idaho. Okay, and what's his name? His name is Bryan Drake. I'm his wife. Okay, and what's your name? What is your name, ma'am? Jennifer. Jennifer? Okay, Jennifer. I am going to send people up there right now to check on him, okay? What? I'm going to send people up there right now, okay? Thank you. Do you guys call me back? Of course. Is this a good phone number to reach you at the 512-626-3618? Yes. Yes, okay. Please call me as soon as possible. Okay, I will, Jennifer. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
Now, she'd already texted her friends prior to this 8:59 call that her husband was dead. He's dead, in quotes. You know, Sherry. Come on, girl. You know. Look at your text messages, sweetheart. Go take a look at them. You know, remember when she wasn't having you come over to the house and you were trying to go and hang out with her because she was with Amber? You know, go Sherry, go check out your text messages. I would give an Academy Award away to Jennifer, but you know, she gets a Razzie Award. But so yep, and then they went ahead and they dispatched, you know, the ambulance at 8:59, same time that this came through to Boundary County Connection. So what, right? I mean, I'd be flipping. She sounds pretty calm. Well, I don't understand why she's telling her friends that her husband's already dead. He's dead. He's dead. 8:32. He's dead. How does she know that? She hasn't even called yet. I thought she just got off the phone with him. Just be cooking and listening. Now, I didn't believe it myself. I had to double check some stuff. So I was like, let's just take a listen to good old Isaac. What'd you hear? Where you at, Isaac? Well, this is oh boy.
What's the address of your emergency?
I don't know the exact address, but it's right across the street from Les Schwab. I don't know. I just heard gunshots go off, so I thought I'd call it in.
Okay, and what direction?
It sounded like it came right from almost behind Far North, like in that neighborhood back there.
How many?
2, I believe, is all I heard. And then I saw someone running too, and I shouted at them, and they just looked back and kept running. So,
Okay, what direction did they start running?
going like towards downtown, but they ran like back in this neighborhood back here.
Okay. Did they seem injured?
No, they did not, but it was just all like a super suspicious like thing to happen right then. So I don't know. I thought I'd call it in.
Okay. Thank you. I have another 911 coming in right now. If I need anything else, I'll call you back, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Okay. Woohoo! Bonner's Ferry. What was going on in Bonner's that night? Well, lots apparently. There'd be more than just the Drake case going on. There was something going on at the high school / middle school. We'll get into all of that, but what I want to show you guys here is this is in March, Jennifer Drake takes to the media. I've played this before, but I want to show you again how she says that her daughter is sitting next to her when this happens. Okay, let's take a look here. So, Jennifer Drake, March 2023. There we go. Okay. Let's get this with the video. Oh, that's not it. Here we go. I want the actual, she puts up a billboard, but that's not the one I want. I want the actual video. Okay. So we'll do this. Okay, here. We can share this now.
Well, it has now been 3 years since a Bonners Ferry chiropractor was found executed in his office. Dr. Bryan Drake was shot from behind as he sat as his...
Okay, right here, they're conducting, if you can see this, like 4 guys huddled up over here. They are conducting a on-scene interview of Isaac Funderburg. If you look over here to the left, as the video started, you could see that the building is roped off with yellow tape back there to the left, right? So this is actual footage from 3 years ago that they used to like kick off this story where Jennifer Drake comes to the media in March of 2023.
Ferry chiropractor was found executed in his office. Dr. Bryan Drake was shot from behind as he sat at his desk.
An arrest for second-degree murder came a few months later. A fellow chiropractor in town, Dr. Daniel Moore, but the case against him quickly fell apart when his alleged confession was ruled by a district court to be coerced. However, prosecutors appealed, and the fight went to Idaho Supreme Court, which dismissed various parts of the argument.
The end result is that charges could be refiled against Moore, but as of tonight, there was no one facing criminal charges for the death of Dr. Drake.
The investigation into what happened that March evening is ongoing, and now the Drake family is getting creative to try to generate new tips and leads.
And they tell her, "Help me, Haley." They want justice. They will stop at nothing.
So since Jennifer Drake asked for my help here, she straight up asked us, the public, to help. I figured that I would help. Okay. So after she made 50 or 60 grand off of a GoFundMe, after she calls her insurance company for her life insurance policy that flat out she signed for her husband, she collected that fatty mill. So she gets $1 million, quickest life insurance policy cash out ever. Did you guys know that the detective has to sign off and say that you are no longer a suspect if in fact the beneficiary was at ever a point a suspect? So I shit you not. Okay. But you have to it has to get signed off by the detective in order for you to get your money if you're the beneficiary of a life insurance policy in a situation like this, especially when you call them up and you're like, "Hey, my husband's dead body is still bleeding out on the ground, but I would like to collect my life insurance policy. So what do you need from me? What do I need to send you? Okay, the death certificate. Okay, I'll get that expedited. Okay, anything else? Well, we're going to need the detective if it's a homicide we have to talk to them." And so guess what all these people have to do when you do this? Because I was on the phone with some chatty Cathys today, and they were just explaining away on how the policies work and if you have to pay out. They take notes every single time you call in about your policy. They take notes, meaning if you call in to say, "Hey, is my policy so good?" or "I need to make change." I mean, whatever it may be, you could be calling just to make sure that, you're not a lapse in payment, whatever. But every time you call in and whatever it's for, they document. Okay. But here it is. Jennifer Drake had to have one of the detectives say that she was not a suspect. Jennifer Drake got cut a life insurance policy and cashed $1 million by April 3rd, 2020. April 3rd, her husband was murdered March 12th. March 12th. Oh, shit. Stop. Who is running the show here? Okay.
To get it.
Small town community, closely knit.
Bonners Ferry, Idaho.
You've got a lot of family-oriented people, a lot of people that attend local churches.
The address for about 2,500, home of the Badgers. Nestled along the Kootenai River, the Selkirk Mountains almost serving as protectors from evil until they couldn't.
How did you find out what happened? I was on the phone with them when it happened.
Just like the community where
okay, so right there, that's his building right there, that green shutters over there. Just so you guys can see this angle.
Murder victim, Dr. Bryan Drake, would launch his successful chiropractor business. His wife.
Okay, so I went ahead and made some phone calls. And I called Tony Flecky, Tony Flexter. Tony Fleck runs Two Tones Bar and Grill. Okay. And I told Tony I was part of the biker gang and I was coming through with a big ponytail and that I needed to have a table of 10 for my biker gang. And then we started talking about Bryan Drake, and I asked him if, Bryan Drake was ever in there. Here's a picture of him. And was he ever in there by himself? Or Oh, yeah, we know him. Yeah, we told the police. We told him that, yeah, he came in. He'd come in by himself. On a couple different occasions, he would come in with a woman, and they would take the cornerback table. The cornerback table, were they hiding themselves back there? Do you think that lead was followed up to see what female? Okay.
Wife says he was wholesome, a man of God, loved music and family.
He was amazing. We had it all. We really did.
Bryan and Jennifer married in '99. Love at first sight.
Oh, it was.
Was it?
Yes, we met at church.
Bryan's career took them to Montana, Texas, and finally North Idaho, welcoming babies along the way.
We have 4. We have 3 boys and a girl. Very few people ever win the lottery like I did.
They had hit that
twice.
Sweet spot in life by the time Bryan, Dr. Drake, opened up his own office along this stretch of Main Street in Bonners Ferry.
A great chiropractor, as an opinion from his wife.
But also his patients.
Very compassionate. He helped me out a lot.
She didn't want her face on camera. Who could blame her after what happened on March 12th, 2020?
He was an innocent man who...
Okay, listen up.
Sorry. It was killed at the end of a business workday.
While on the phone with his wife.
It's a memory of sitting next to my daughter when it happened, and I'm the one who had to call 911.
Oh! She did not just say she was sitting next to her daughter. Well, good thing. She's the one that had to call 911, right when it happened. Right when it happened. You guys know that 911 call we just heard? Her daughter was sitting right next to her. Well, she only has one daughter. And took it upon myself to make some extra phone calls. And Beth. Yes, Beth. At 6:26 p.m. 6:26 p.m. Hello, Beth. I just saw your message. What a bummer about the concert. Aubrey was really excited about it, but no worries. I understand. I told her that she could stay the night if you allowed it. By the way, is there anything special that her daughter wants for her birthday? Beth said, I know. This is, remember, guys, it's COVID, so they started canceling stuff. I know. I'm so bummed they canceled, and they canceled the whole entire tour, every city. We would love to still have her. We are still going to have so much fun. Your daughter, Jennifer, was never in your house that afternoon or evening. In fact, she slept at Beth's with her friend Hannah. Okay, honey, this little lie poo on national television, this is some sick shit. The daughter wasn't picked up to the next day, okay, by friends and family.
Responding officers found her husband of 21 years.
So I'm curious, Beth and the rest of the fucking gang in Bonners and Hayden, Idaho, how could you seriously watch this fucking shit and not look at your husband or your friends and be like, what the fuck is Jennifer talking about? Her daughter wasn't there. We had her, we had her. What is she talking about? So, hello, those of you guys in Hayden, those of you guys part of Heart of the City Church, or like whatever church y'all go to, when you guys are sitting around singing about the Lord, okay, well, you're staring at a sinner.
Years executed as he sat at his desk.
He did not know. It was behind him. Somebody shot him in the back through a window. By the
No, they didn't, honey. But that's your story.
time he realized what had happened, the next step was unconsciousness.
A space once dedicated to healing turned the first murder scene in city limits since the early 1960s. And despite, as Jennifer calls it, diligent police work, 3 years later, the case remains open, in desperate need of perhaps you.
We really are hoping that somebody will come up with some more information.
Hey, girl. What's up? My name is Lana. I got you, girl. What you need? What kind of information can I help you with? Let's talk about your 911 call. Can you please explain why you waited an hour and a half to call 911 when you were talking to your husband and the phone went dead at 7:26 p.m.?
To substantiate what we already know.
What you already know.
Billboards like...
How much of that million was tossed around to other people? This is some sick ass shit, okay?
This one along 95 are trying to appeal.
Let's call the tip line. I'm so sick and tired of this. 1-833-445-2092.
You have reached the Idaho Open Case Tip Line, hosted by the Idaho Criminal Intelligence Center. Please specify the case you are calling about by referencing the name of the victim, suspect, or the area of the state where the incident occurred. Be as detailed as possible in your message. If you wish to be reached by an investigator, leave your contact information. Thank you for your participation.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi there. I am calling to give a tip on the case Bryan Drake out of Bonners Ferry, Idaho. He was murdered on 3/12/2020. I did some FOIA requests and came across the fact that his wife, Jennifer Drake, did not call 911 like she claims after her 7:26 phone call ended abruptly due to her husband being shot. In fact, Jennifer Drake didn't call 911 for, an hour and a half later, upon where the Idaho State Police and the Bonners Ferry Police Chief, they all knew this and they buried that evidence. Yeah, so you can go ahead and check for yourself to see what time, in fact, Jennifer Drake called 911. You will see that there was no call between 7 and 8 p.m. to the Kootenai County, Hayden area, and then it was rerouted. If you don't believe me, I would like to play the 911 call for you. We've been really, really working diligently on this case, and I heard there's a $10,000 reward. So
911, what is the address of the emergency? Oh my goodness, somebody please go to my husband. He's in Bonners Ferry. He was on the phone with me.
There you go. That's enough for you to see that we do have that call. And it did not take place at the time that she says. Then she went on some, I don't know. I think it's, she went on some Channel 6 or some shit in Bonners, or I don't know if it's Bonners, if it's Hayden. But she went on a news outlet, and she told the news that she was sitting next to her daughter when, she was talking to her husband when he got shot. Well, her daughter was with a friend named Beth. I can give you that last name when I talk to you, and her information, and I can give you the 2 text messages as well as some other text messages that prove that her daughter was nowhere in her fucking vicinity. So I am curious as to why Jennifer Drake, while her husband's dead body bleeding out, was calling for her life insurance policy the next morning, that the, ISP detectives cleared her to be able to get her $1 million life insurance check as soon and as quickly as 4/3/2020. I think the tip goes both ways. I have some information that proves the guilt on many of levels of multiple people, as well as the corruption of many of police officers. So I don't know how you want to handle this, but toodles. And I'm sure you're able to trace this call, so I'll expect a call back. Bye. And there you go. That's my continuing on.
To whoever that could be.
We have a $10,000 reward.
Bryan's face, front and center, a some 672 square foot reminder to the public of what already consumes Jennifer's mind.
As the saying goes, for evil to triumph, good men do nothing. And I believe that we owe it to my husband, and not just my husband, but my children and the community at large, that something is done.
Haley Gunther.
I totally agree. I think that we should call Haley Gunther of K something something. Toodles, you like that? Anyways, you guys like how I threw that F-bomb in there? Good. Well, there's more. There's more. Because there's multiple people involved in this thick, layered bullshit. So many people that like I just didn't feel like doxing everybody on a live, but it started right from jump. And so I'm curious when I went back and took some looks at some things. I want you guys to see something. Yes, Lana, call the news. I talked to a sweetheart today from Mutual of Omaha. She was just a doll, just a Southern belle. And yeah. So we'll see how that all pans out for everybody. But it's, yeah. So we'll see what's up. But let's take a look at something. You guys will appreciate this. You know what this gives me vibes of? Okay. This gives me vibes of Jared Bradigan's ex-wife. Okay. Videos. So much so that I want to show you when she did her little interview. Let's see this one next. Wow, she's facing the death penalty. But here we go. Jared Bryan's ex-wife interview. Yeah, here we go. Oh, is this done? Yeah, there we go. Let's take a look. So you guys can see some of these similarities.
In February of this year, 33-year-old father Jared Bradigan was gunned down in front of his 2-year-old daughter. It's a murder that stunned Jack's Beach neighbors, which have rallied behind his widow and 4 children. Now, some tabloids have cast suspicion on his ex-wife, Shanna Gardner. Those tabloids followed and photographed her and questioned her innocence.
And Gardner has not spoken publicly to anyone about Bradigan's murder until now. And tonight, in the only TV interview she says that she will be doing, Action News Jack's Kristen Rary has the exclusive interview with Gardner.
As her innocence has come into question, Shanna Gardner spoke to me in the only...
Okay, so people are always questioning this woman's, guilt. I mean, you have the ex-husband, they're going through a bad, divorce. Boom, obviously suspicion on the ex-wife, okay? But here you have Jennifer Drake, no suspicion whatsoever. You have ISP detectives clearing her before an investigation even begins. Why? How? Let's take a look.
The TV interview she says she'll be doing to tell her side of the story.
I do want people to understand,
where I'm coming from.
Almost 5 months after Jared Bradigan was murdered in the street in front of his 2-year-old daughter, we spoke with his ex-wife, who has not commented publicly so far. Our first question, why have you stayed silent?
I was asked to not talk to the media or give a public statement, but with the level of speculation, I felt that now it was necessary to speak out.
Shanna Gardner revealed she was asked by Jared Bradigan's widow, Kirsten, not to speak publicly, but we wanted to know how the relationship could have gotten to that point.
I'm sure you would say that we've had happy moments. I mean, we shared the 2 most beautiful children in the world.
In 2015, Jared and Shanna divorced. Their court records, which we obtained from the St. Johns County court system, revealed a long, complicated process lasting over 5 years.
Anytime divorce comes into any situation, it's messy. It just is. I will say that I think that we both love our kids.
Jared and Shanna both wanted full custody. The court file details allegations of spying, deceit, and more. In the end, Shanna and Jared reached an agreement. They shared custody, and whenever the children were at one parent's house, the other would come over Wednesday and have a date night. That's exactly what Jared and his twins did the night he was killed.
It was actually one of the things. Sorry. I remember my son tucking him in and him saying that it was a good date night.
But that happiness would end just minutes
Okay.
after leaving Shanna's house.
So again, very similar situations. You knew where he was going to be. Okay. And it's an ambush attack. So on Wednesday nights, they always have this date night if it's not your week. Same thing with in Bryan Drake's case. He's in Bonners Ferry on certain nights, so you knew exactly where he's going to be. Well, then, hey, have the wife call, make sure where he's at. Are you still at the office? Okay, he's there, blah, blah. Keep him on the phone. We'll have, yada, 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 yada.
Just over 2 miles from her home, in a quiet neighborhood with few security cameras, a tire was rolled out into the street. Jared got out of his car to move it and was shot dead. His 2-year-old daughter sat in the car, strapped into her car seat alone for 3 minutes before someone came to help.
I was shocked. I fell to the floor because I was devastated for what I was going to have to tell my kids.
Jared died in that street, leaving behind 4 children and a heartbroken family.
They were, I think, in shock.
Later, in a blog post, Shanna's mother said she was not invited to the funeral. I asked Shanna about the situation.
His family did not invite me or want me there.
But the day before a vigil hosted by Jared's widow at Celebration Park, Shanna was photographed at the park with her kids by the tabloid Daily Mail.
Talk about a violation of privacy, because my kids know that they were photographed and they were worried.
The tabloid presented the facts in a way that leave room for speculation about Shanna having a role in Jared's death, citing their rocky divorce papers and her absence from the funeral.
Even though we didn't always get along, he was still the father of my kids.
So I asked Shanna the question.
Did you have anything to do with Jared's murder?
No, I did not have anything to do with his murder.
Shanna says she has no idea if the murder was targeted.
Now, this woman is under all this scrutiny, okay? Then you have to fast forward to...
or what Jared was involved in, saying they ran in different circles. But Action News Jax reported in June, Shanna had hired criminal defense attorney Hank Cox.
He was referred to me by several friends, and ultimately my kids' images and videos were being used in the media without consent.
Shanna said Cox was hired to protect her kids. I asked her if she thinks she will face criminal charges. She says no, that she's cooperated with detectives.
Do you have any idea who might have done this?
I do not have any idea. As I said, we've been divorced. We don't run in the same social circles. All I know is that I would never want anybody to go through this.
She told me if she could speak to Jared again, she'd say one thing.
Honestly, that I wish it weren't like this. I wish things could have been and could be different.
And Shanna told me despite this happening in her neighborhood, despite many people around her discussing the case, she has no intention of leaving Jax Beach or Jacksonville.
And guess what she did? She took her kids and flew all the way to Washington where her family lives. Then we get to fast forward to, let's see. Let's take a look. I have her body cam video. She was arrested for hiring a hitman, and her husband was arrested. He first went down, then she went down. They hired some fucking, I don't even know what you want. I mean, but here you go. We can take a look at her.
We're gonna bring you inside real quick. Get you out of the warm car, right? Step out for me. We're gonna go through these doors over here, and then there's gonna be a hallway to your left there. Have you take a left there for me, and we'll go down to this last door here on the left. Have you stand there for me. And I'll have you take a seat over here. And what I'll do, actually, if you want, no, you're okay. You know, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I was gonna say pulling up the camera footage, but I can just stand here. So I'm good.
Let's kind of get the other one that I wanted going back. So yeah, she gives me straight up Jared Branigan's ex-wife vibes. And I think you can see it right here where she starts talking about, she starts getting choked up. Like, give me a break. But guess what? She wasn't Jennifer Drake was never a suspect.
But also his patience.
Very compassionate. He helped me out a lot.
She didn't want her face on camera. Who could blame her after what happened on March 12th, 2020?
He was an innocent man who, sorry, it was killed at the end of a business workday.
While on the phone with his wife.
It's a memory of sitting next to my daughter.
And so the police did this whole elaborate timeline around Jennifer Drake saying that this shooting occurred while she was on the phone with him and that she had called 911. Well, doesn't that kind of just blow up the whole damn timeline? Like, you can't go off of anything that she had said now, because clearly you didn't call 911 right away. You waited an hour and a half. But who was in the car when you called 911, Jennifer? Were you in the car when you called 911 at 8:59 and at 8:42 and at 8:32 when you were calling these hospitals to see where your husband was? But who was with you? Because according to Spencer Van Lingen, Amber, the woman that was in charge of running the church, the secretary, she was with you. So is Amber sitting next to you while you're faking this 911 call? Did you go to the bathroom and I mean, did you do this in front of somebody?
When it happened, and I'm the one who had to call 911.
Responding officers found her husband of 20
happened, and I'm the one who had to call 911.
You see how she had to like swallow that? It's a tough pill to swallow, that lie, isn't it? Look at that.
It's a memory of sitting next to my daughter when it happened. And
What a lie. But do you understand when she went and she didn't have to do this interview? The more this woman talks, she just gets herself in trouble. So give Jennifer Drake a microphone and let her talk about her whole day, because I can only imagine what will come out. Jennifer Drake, were you an Uber driver? Why does Uber have you on record as being a Uber driver? I'm just curious. Are you an Uber driver? Were you ever an Uber driver? Lana goes deep when she investigates.
the one who had to call 911.
Look at that. That swallow.
Officers found her husband of 21 years executed as he sat at his desk.
He did not know it was behind him. Somebody shot him in the back.
How would you know that? He did not know it was, but how would you know any of that?
Through a window. And by the time he realized what had happened, the next step was unconsciousness.
How are you telling that story, Jennifer, before the cops could ever tell you the story? How did you know that he was shot through a window when you were telling your friends that? You know, the night that it happened? Look at this shit.
A space once dedicated to healing turned the first murder scene in city limits since the early 1960s. And despite, as Jennifer calls it, diligent police work, 3 years later,
Diligent police work. It's diligent something.
The case remains.
What kind of relationship, Jennifer, do you have with Marty Ryan, the assistant police chief? What kind of relationship do you have with criminal defense attorney Steve Minert? What kind of relationship do you have with bad boy 25-year-old Steve Minert? What kind of relationship do you have with, again, assistant police chief Marty Ryan, who just buried all of this shit for you?
Open, in desperate need of perhaps you.
We really are hoping that somebody will come up with some more information to substantiate what we already know.
What do you already know? Because she's been in Facebook groups saying that she already knows who the killer is. She is going around and telling these horrible lies about people. So, it's just wowsville. So I went a little deeper. You know, I wanted to double check so many things of this work that I called a guy that hired Jennifer's kids to work on some property out in Coeur d'Alene. And he said that Brenner Drake, who's now 19, spitting image of his dad with blonde hair, blue eyes, that he had talked to Brenner the day of the murders because Brenner called him. And he said that Brenner called him at 6:50 p.m. 6:50 p.m. to say that his dad has been shot in the leg. 6:50. 6:50 p.m. Brenner tells employer dad was shot in the leg. Well, because I've been basically pushing up this timeline because I believe that 6:42 call that was 13 seconds, you know, is way more important. Because I believe that the last gunshot that went through that office window, that was just for the storyline. Okay. So, But at 6:50 p.m., Brenner called his employer, another holy roller, and told him that he could not come to work tomorrow because his dad had been shot in the leg. Well, I thought he wasn't shot until 7:26. Shit. Okay. Then I said, I want to even go further. And they called Life Flight for this case, and then it was canceled. So I did a little digging with Life Flight, and I came across some of the stuff I had requested. And Life Flight was just all so quickly, like it was ordered up and then it was shut down, all relatively quick, like 3 minutes. And lo and behold, the same month that Jennifer Drake checks on her life insurance policy in August of 2019, one of their best friends changes positions and goes from being a nurse at Kootenai County fucking hospital to becoming a traveling nurse on the Life Flight team. Okay? Same month. And anyways, so this guy, Dan, a little traveling nurse that he is, he receives a phone call from Amber's husband, Josh, saying that at 8:32 p.m., saying that Bryan had just been shot. Okay. And so Dan's like, oh, we just received a Life Flight over there in Bonners, but it was canceled just as quickly as it was ordered. So Dan decided to call his friends that were EMS and ask them what was going on in Bonners, because, you know, obviously he just got a phone call from Josh saying, I'm sorry, from Spencer. Josh, Spencer, they're all the same damn people. They have like three groups of couple friends. Probably swing together. I don't know. That's speculation on my end. I'm eating Doritos. They're so good. So I made some phone calls, and Danny Boy, he called Bonners Ferry's finest and asked the EMS who was their, what's going on? And they're like, oh, it was DOA on arrival. We didn't even work on him. Bryan Drake. And so Danny Boy calls back, Spencer and says that he was dead. Okay. Now, only phone records will show exactly what time Danny Boy got that phone call back from EMS John over there in Bonners. But all of this is taking place, and Drakey Poo hasn't even called 911 yet. Just throwing that out there. She calls at, she starts to begin her process. Let's see. Jennifer fake calls her husband at 8:45 and 54 seconds. Then fake calls his cell phone at 8:46 and 52 seconds. And then she starts calling her fake hospitals. She called Kootenai at 8:32 and 59 seconds. I said 8:32 and 59 seconds. That's the same time that Dan says that, he received a call from Spencer saying that Bryan had been shot. So what are the odds that Spencer is calling Dan at the same time that Jennifer Drake begins to call a hospital? Because she has to play it off like, why would I just be calling 911? Like, oh, I don't know. So I decided to call hospitals first. So she calls a hospital at 8:32 and 59 seconds. Then she calls Her husband, again, 8:45 on his regular cell phone, goes straight to voicemail, or because the phone is shut off. Then she calls his work cell phone at 8:46 and 52 seconds. And then at 8:48 and 36 seconds, she calls another hospital. 8:51 and 29 seconds, she calls another. And then at 8:56 and 52 seconds to 8:59 and 38 seconds, she begins her 911 calls that were getting patched on through. And that began at 8:56 to 8:59 and 38 seconds. And when you add up all that time there at the end and you subtract, and you break up the 911 calls when this whole like patching thing is happening, it's money on the lengths of these calls. So, and what Jennifer's going to tell everybody is that her husband, well, let's see. Her husband slipped and fell on the ice and broke his leg, a month before this, which everybody is like, well, did he really slip and fall and break his leg? Or did somebody take a baseball bat to it? Okay. That happened a month before the murder. Then come to find out, they tried to make an insurance claim where he broke his leg and slipped and fell. And to come to realize that you aren't even insured. Like you weren't even in this building. Like you don't even have an agreement. You were doing some mom and pop, hey, verbal agreement, shake your hand. Hey, can I use your basement to look at these patients? How fucking sick is that? Who's going to go down and see a chiropractor in a basement without a secretary? You're just one-on-one. Nothing but a plow fest probably, but whatever. 22 days after he was killed. Yeah, something like that. Then before that, so I was looking into like is this like just a scamming family? What's up? Then before that, he had back surgery in August of 2019. It's like, what? Yeah. Broke his back. Something with his back. He needed back surgery in August of 2019. Then in February of 2020, he needed this because he broke his leg. Well, I tracked down every single patient that Dr. Drake saw on his last day of living. Because I kind of believe that there was a chance that Dr. Drake wasn't even alive that day, just because of how fucked up the whole thing was. Well, he definitely was alive. But boy, oh boy, the people that he saw that day, wow, is all I have to say. But I came across one lady, and she had something very interesting to say. She was a very organized young lady. Or like, when I say younger, whatever, she's like 40. She looked back in her phone and she's like, I used to keep track of all the times that I'd see everybody because, whatever. So she's like, the last time I saw Bryan before he passed away was, he was on that, he had all that crutch stuff going on because he had broke his leg. I said, oh yeah. Yeah. And she said, let me take a look and see what my last appointment with Bryan was. And holy shit, was I surprised. She said, here it is, January 23rd. I said, January 23rd, 2020? She says, yeah. And she said, yeah, that was my last time I saw him. And he had that crutchy, he had that splint and whatever. And I said, wow, really? I said, well, he didn't slip on the ice and do all of that stuff until February 4th. And she says, what? I said, well, let me double check my notes here. And I said, yeah, right here. He said he allegedly slipped and fell on the ice, which we've never believed, on February 4th, and that he had surgery on February 10th. And she said, well, I had not seen Bryan. That's the last time I saw him was January 23rd. And he most certainly had that splint thing. I said, interesting. And I said, where did you see him? She says, out in Bonners Ferry. That's where I always saw him. I said, interesting. So I said, let me add that. So January 23rd, 2020, Bryan Drake was in his splint leg crutch thing boot. I said, holy shit. I said, let me go back to February 4th. And I came across some text messages. And I was like, you know what? I said, something happened on February 4th or nothing did, you know? And here's sure as shit. Don't you think if you, I don't know, broke your leg, you'd go to the hospital? You know what I mean? No, they didn't go to the hospital or anything on the 4th. Instead, he just says in some text messages with other people that, oh yeah, we're going to go to the hospital tomorrow. Like, I think I slipped and fell and yada, yada, yada. They waited because Bryan Drake did not have an office space in Sandpoint. So he had 3 offices allegedly, Hayden, Sandpoint, and Bonners. And they made it seem like he broke his leg and did all of this, okay, in the Sandpoint office parking lot so that he could try to sue. It didn't happen there. I don't know. I believe it happened in Bonners. I believe he was roughed up. I believe somebody took a baseball bat to his leg, to his ribs. I think somebody broke a couple ribs. I think somebody broke his ankle. Okay. Now, who's going to do that? Well, if you're sleeping with my fucking wife, I got a problem with you. But why try to claim that this happened with some slipping and falling of ice? Well, because how are you going to go and get any type of insurance to pay or to try to so I looked up and they had tried to file a claim against the building that he was not even renting in. Like, what a bunch of dipshits. I'm sorry, that shit's just funny to me. That's like someone that goes and lights their car on fire and realizes that they don't have any insurance on the car if they had stopped paying on the insurance. Okay. So then I went one step further and I said, okay, I think they're running all types of scams. Like, what other scams are we running here? And I'm going to show you guys. It's called Lostology. Okay. Let me pull up good old Facebook. Then I was like, I want to know what's going on with this church. You know, what kind of church is this, heart of the city? You know, who are these people? Who are they bringing into their community? Well, we'll see. There we go. Lostology. This looks good. Lostology. This was opened by Steven at livingstonespokane.com. Okay. And I looked and saw the date. Let's take a look. Wait for it. Okay, here we go. March 26th, 2020. Okay. And then March 19th, 2020. Okay. And the reason that this is important, look at March 19th, 2020. March 19th, 2020. This is where Jennifer Drake says the night that her husband was murdered, she was telling people that her one son was, he was going to be speaking at Lostology and to pray for him because he's so nervous, so much so that she wrote this to her husband. She says, pray for, H. He's probably so nervous. He has this Lostology that he is going to be speaking. Okay. So the Facebook page does not even get started until March 19th, 2020. And then I noticed that, here we go. Do you see how it says law number 3? So where's 2 and 1?
Here. And so I came to Christ in Russia. I was actually born in socialistic communist Russia. And then when the Iron Curtain fell, there was a flood of missionaries that came and they preached the gospel to us.
You know what I mean? They would like to be something different, but they just don't know how.
Right.
I thought that was really a beautiful way to look at that.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Anybody else? Yes.
The Roman road.
The Romans road, that was good, right?
Because I'm reading through Matthew, it says you're going through this class as well, and this verse actually stuck out to me.
You can, in the way her and I talked about this exact verse, the true and false disciples, the whole section. So we lost.
Okay. So then I went and saw, oh, wait, here is Stephen, Marina Buck. It says, thanks, Stephen. Love you, bro. Daniel. Ready? Take a look.
We're just kind of working with the times. I think you guys understand. And
I said, this is Stephen Minert. I said, oh my God, this is the first phone call and texts that Jennifer Drake made. Here he is in the flesh, Stephen Minert. Oh my God, Stephen. He's 25 years old. He's a total fucking loser. He's got so many fucking things going on, like bad in his life. You know, and I can totally say loser because I can. He has a lot of issues, just like a bad little apple, but he's on his path, so much so that Jennifer Drake trusted this man to cart her sons around in a vehicle. Meanwhile, he has felons and shit. He's a felon. He has felonies. And this is this Lostology. And I said, what is this shit? Who is this? What's going on?
And let me try to get this thing popped up. So in case you guys leave a message,
okay.
I think I'll be able to see it. Okay, so whether people are on or not, just fast forward from the beginning, I guess, or catch up where you are. But we are going to get started. This is Lostology law number 4. It is tough to trust a stranger. We are in the midst of the class, and
I'm sorry.
we are halfway through it. If you're my Lostologist, I emailed you the handout so you guys can
crack open a beer, guys. We're in for a doozy.
If it's too confusing for you, or you have questions or whatever it may be, just leave a comment.
Yeah, I have a question. So you did this on March 26, 2020, Stephen. How in the world could you possibly function knowing that on March 12th, just a couple weeks beforehand, let's see, you were, I don't know, let's see, here we go. Jennifer Drake texts Brenner Drake, her son, and says, take a picture of Hudson and Stephen together at 7:02 p.m. Like you did you and Stephen together from Lostology. Then Brenner Drake says, also, I recorded the entire thing. I took the pictures. Okay, so she's basically saying that her 2 sons are with this guy and they're at Lostology together. And that her one son that night was so nervous because he was doing this. Well, wouldn't you go and watch your son at the church thing if he was doing something like that or reading? You're just so involved with the church. You know, so you're not on the couch with your daughter because she's out. You clear your whole house. Your husband's at work. Where is Jennifer Drake? Okay. Well, let's see. Then at 7:41 and 21 seconds, she calls him, Stephen Minert, the night of the murders. He doesn't answer. And instead, he texts her and he says, can I call you later? And she says, no, call me now. And then so she just calls him back again and he answers and then they talk for 2 minutes. Okay. Then after that phone call that lasted over 2 minutes, again, still not calling the police, she's then receiving text messages from her son. What's wrong at 7:49? Mom, 754. Is it Maddie? Maddie, come to find out, is the name of their dog. They thought Maddie was hit. Okay, Maddie. He thought Maddie was hit, allegedly, because they leave that dog out all the time. Then at 7:54 p.m., Jennifer texts Amber, you know, the girl in charge of the church, and says, Amber, you there? Can you call me ASAP? Then she talks to her mom some more. Then Amber doesn't call her back until 8:07. 8:07. But yet Amber's husband, Spencer, he just flat out fucking lies to the police and says that Jennifer and Amber talked at 7:30 and that Jennifer was just hysterical about it. And then Amber had to like drive over to like, you know, Jennifer's house, and he had to stay home because the kids were in bed. I said, who the fuck puts their kids to bed at 7:30? Okay. And then he, you know, that's not even remotely believable, but whatever. Then he says that Jennifer and Amber drove north to Bonners Ferry in Jennifer's car. Well, that's funny because the other guy said that Amber was driving Jennifer. So which is it, y'all? Can you get your shit straight? But at the end of the day, I wanted to know about Stevie Pooh. Who is Stevie Pooh? Okay. Steven wants to be a pastor, damn it.
And I'll hopefully get to you during the class. But let's open up in prayer. And my lostologist, let's stay engaged. Let's participate. And also, my lostologist, if you guys can share this on Facebook.
We're sharing it, baby.
It really helped to get the word out. So I'm going to open up in prayer. And then we'll begin. So, Father God, I thank you in the name of Jesus for this time. Lord, we trust you and we know that you are faithful, even through this weird season and time that we're going in throughout this world. But no matter what, it's the joy of the Lord that's our strength. And so we put on.
This is after he is having dinner at Bryan Drake's house. He is changing the plumbing at Bryan Drake's house. He is putting in sinks and toilets at Bryan Drake's house. He is carting around their whole damn family. Okay. He is little Jen's little bitch boy. Okay. And this is literally 14 days after March 12th, the murders. Okay.
On joy right now in the name of Jesus. We put on joy. We put on happiness.
So I went ahead and I called Spokane and I spoke with Candace because I said, Stevie Pooh, where are you right now? Stevie Pooh was in Spokane at a church where he was a pastor. Let me show you guys. Okay, let me show you guys this little Stevie Pooh. It was www.steviepooh.com. No, I'm just kidding. What's his? We'll just go like this. Here, hold on. Where are you at, Lostology? Yeah, Steven at livingstonespokane.com. This is it right here. So I gave Stevie Pooh a call. This number, 208-651-7115, is the same number that Jennifer Drake was using. Okay. That, you know, how she knew him as. All right. In her phone, she had him saved like that. So then I went ahead and I pumped in this lovely, let's look it up. Livingstone Church. Okay. Hold on here. And this woman lost her shit on me. Okay. I was just trying to give her some information. But Livingstone Church, right here, Livingstone Church. I said, hi, I'm trying to reach Stephen Minert, please. Pastor and go-getter, plumber, everything in between. Probably my legs as well. Get it? And she said, Stephen is no longer with our church. Can I ask why, want to know how I got this number, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, Stephen's all over your website, ma'am. Stephen says that he is the pastor of your community church. And she's like, that is not true. She was so took offense to that. I said, I'm telling you, he is on your website. And I was like, I'll be happy to send you these screenshots. And she was not having it. She said that they fired him, that he isn't I said, oh, okay, fired. That's awesome. Can I find out why? Would you ever hire him back? And she's like, we are part of the church here. We cannot be talking about that. I said, I'm just curious, if I was to hire Stephen, or if you were to if he was wanting a job, would you ever bring him back into the community? And she said, no, I would not. I said, well, does it have to do with his long history of felonies? Is that why? Was he doing anything inappropriate with any of the, other pastors of the community or the children? Hallelujah. At the end of the day, I was able to track down Stephen. Stephen is living in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. Stephen is living with a fellow mate from Spokane. Okay. They had to get out of Dodge. But the interesting part about this Stephen character, okay, is we got pretty hung up on the fact. Let me just go ahead and share this. We really got hung up on Stevie Pooh's cell phone number. Okay. This cell phone number here. I wanted to know everything about this cell phone number because this cell phone number is all up in Jennifer Drake's outgoing, incoming. So much so that in, let's see, just a month or two, wait, we're here. Yeah, just a month. It was right around, February, January. Jennifer Drake put her house on the market for Airbnb. So Jennifer Drake took their home address and put it on the market for to Airbnb her fucking home. Okay. I said, you guys are going to die on how I figured this out. I saw because Jennifer Drake is a dumbass. She clicks notification alert on everything. So therefore, every time you get an alert on your phone and it comes in the form of a text message, it is going to be seen by the world. Okay. So Jennifer Drake, she clicks notify me on everything. And so here, just text messages come on through. So much so that she said, this text came through and it said, I'm going to read it verbatim. She said, let's see, or it said, this text message said, I want to read it verbatim because it's that good. Let me get my kids out. Okay, right here. Okay. It said, incoming text. It said, congratulations, Stephen is booked with you on June 26th through June 29th for 3 nights. I said, what the fuck? And then I saw that it was a 1872. It was like a 1-800 number. And so so that was an incoming. It says, congratulations, Stephen is booked with you on June 26th through June 29th for 3 nights. Then it said, incoming says, Airbnb, Stephen, comma, incoming. That's great, exclamation point. Thank you so much. See you in June. So she then goes on Airbnb to respond to this person named Stephen, who just booked her home for June 26th through June 29th of 2020. Okay. So June 26th through June 29th, 2020. All right. It's a Stephen. All right. And I said to myself, wait, why does that date stick out so much? So I came to find out, as I went back in my other stuff, I was like, June 26th through June 29th. I said, that's the same date that these swinger friends picked for them to all go to Chicago. Yes, literally 2 days before that, they all picked June 26th through June 29th to be the friends gathering that year with this guy that pays for everything, and he flies them all on their little jetty poo, and they do swinger probably shit, who knows. But so the days and the dates Jennifer is aware of, and then all of the sudden, this is, yes, the hot tub church, yeah. All of the sudden, lo and behold, you're going to sit here and tell me that within 24 hours of numbnuts, Jennifer Drake, getting the dates, the dates that they're going to have this event that they do yearly, within 24 hours, a guy named Steven goes and books her house to have and use the Airbnb on the same dates that this guy that's their friend is doing the friend gathering. I said, get the fuck out of here. I said, no way. I said, that is not possible. I mean, it is, but I wanted to look into this. I said, what the hell? I said, what are the odds that she puts her house in the market, that a Steven would book it, and that it books this way 24 hours after she gets a text saying these are the dates for our trip in Chicago? I said, you just can't make that up, right? So I went one step further, and I said, this has to be a scam. I said, this has to be a scam. How would you start moving money if you wanted to get money and hide it and move it? What could you do? You know, what could you do? Well, because I was like, why would Jennifer? So wait, she's going to go on a trip with her husband, but she's going to charge Steven to stay with her kids. Hey, can you watch my kids for this weekend? Oh yeah, I just Airbnb it. I was like, no, it has to be more than that. And like, at first I thought maybe she was going somewhere with Steven, you know? But then I was like, no, this is an incoming text saying that Steven booked with her. Steven booked her site, whatever she has available. And I said, holy shit, she put her fucking house on the Airbnb market. Okay. I said, oh my God, if I'm trying to hide money, I can just funnel it through Airbnbs that really aren't existent. And I can fucking move and hide money. So much so that this Steven, he doesn't have any money. This little Stevie Poo here, he doesn't have any money. He's 25 years old at the time. Okay. I don't know, is probably obsessed with Jennifer. Who knows? But that little cell phone right there, that 651-7115. Let me just show you a little bit more of Steven here.
Really, we put on Jesus.
Yeah, we do.
And so, Father, we ask that you give us wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah, we do.
And understanding so that we can have a heart for the lost.
That's what I'm talking about.
God, we trust you with this class. We trust you. We're more than halfway through this class, God.
What? You just started.
Good, and I pray, Jesus, that you just bless it.
I
ask that you just put your hand upon it. Whether people come in for 30 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 minutes or the whole hour and a half, I don't know. But we ask, Father God, that you bless this time. You draw people to yourself, and we can know your heart for the lost. Jesus, I ask that you break us so that we can look like you.
Oh, God.
I ask that you use us so we can talk like you.
Okay.
You're the great teacher. You're the rabbi. You're the master. You're a great teacher.
Yeah, you are.
And so we just lift up this time and we ask, Father, that you just teach us what it means to be broken and have a heart for those who are spiritually lost, Jesus. We ask you bless this time and all my...
Well, guess what, guys? I am a stickler for looking at things like this.
A lostologist. Your
I zoomed in over here on this piece of paper to the left. It looks like a whiteboard, but it's not, okay? And it's obviously it's backwards, okay? You can see that it's like written backwards. But I zoomed in when I was taking screenshots of Steven and his fucking plants and shit. Okay. And when I zoomed in, I noticed the handwriting. That fucking handwriting is Jennifer Drake's handwriting. So much so that I compared it to this loop-de-loop shit that she does over here on with her little her J's. Looked at all the stuff where she was ever signing her signature. Okay. I was like, now either Jennifer Drake and Stevie Pooh have the same fucking handwriting, okay? Or this is Jennifer Drake's handwriting. And whose bedroom is this? You know, whose bedroom is this? So then I went another step further. And, you know, this is the person that Jennifer Drake's saying, walk away from the house and call me. And then he calls, you know. Jennifer Drake is calling this person throughout the whole beginning part before she's calling 911. This is the person that she is communicating with, or at least that I thought and think that she is communicating with. But that cell phone number, man, that cell phone number, it was sticking in my head. And I was like, come on, man. Something's off with that cell phone number. Well, let me stop sharing the screen and let me share another screen, because I said no fucking way. Yes. Stephen Minert, defense attorney. Let's see. There he is. Minert Law Office. There we go. There we go. Contact Steve Minert. Minert Law Office. I said, what is the fucking odds that we have another Stephen Minert and this motherfucker is a criminal defense attorney? So I said, I want to hire somebody. I want to hire somebody who is really good with putting together family trees. Family fucking trees, you know what I mean? Family trees. Who can we hire? Or why don't I just call him and ask him, hey, do you know a Jennifer Drake? Hey, were you talking to Jennifer Drake on March 12th, 2020? Because I want to know why in the world that the cell phone number that you, let's see. I want to know why the cell phone number that Stephen Minert, the 25-year-old, who is just fucking lost, literally, lostology. I want to know why his cell phone number is owned and linked to a Steve Minert defense attorney. Papa Minert. I want to know. I want to know how Stephen Minert, okay, I want to know that what are the odds that Stephen Minert would then get divorced from his attorney general prosecutor wifey poo just after the murder of Dr. Drake, okay? That it would become finalized and you would have a divorce decree February of 2023 for Stephen Minert, this one, you know, the defense attorney. And it would make a little bit more sense that that Jennifer Drake would be fucking around and wanting the help of, I don't know, a defense attorney versus a fucking 25-year-old felon. But, or did she talk to both of them? And was she going to blame things on this, you know, 25-year-old if things ever went fucking way south? Who knows? At the end of the day, Stephen Minert, he owns that phone number. So I have no idea, none, why he would own that phone number. Unless they're possibly related. Unless he's possibly his daddy. Now I'm eating popcorn. But at the end of the day, Stephen Minert, the 25-year-old felon, somehow gets teamed up with this church that the Drakes are at. The Drakes, why is Jennifer having a felon drive her kids around? Don't ask me, don't know. And then she's scheduling and making all this Lostology stuff. The word Lostology was never used until a week before the murders, where she said that all of a sudden that her son was going to be speaking at this Lostology and that she was doing this with Steven. Who's this dude? And to make sure that you guys get yourself on camera, make sure you guys are all on camera that night. Let's see. Let's go back to this. Steven. There you go.
She said, I prayed the prayer to see if Joseph Smith was a real prophet, but I've never asked if Jesus is who he really is. And I encouraged her. I said, I just encourage you. And I said, I'm going to pray with you at my house, because I just didn't feel like that was the time to pray for her. And besides, we're talking for like 10 minutes. And honestly, 10 minutes in a small store, it kind of adds up for some time.
What store are we in?
Boss is Lostologist, common ground. Because why do I use that analogy? I didn't create it. If I'm standing on something, I'm going to call it ground. And if I'm standing next to somebody, it's common next to me. We're standing in this common ground. We're familiar with our standing. If someone's far away, I don't share the same common ground. It's a metaphor that I'm trying to paint for you guys, that you see when we share the love of Jesus with people. They want to trust somebody. They want to talk to people they trust to. Why? Because it's tough to trust a stranger. Lostology law number 4. It is so tough to trust a stranger. But if you have a common ground, what happens is that there's trust exchanged. And when someone gives you their trust and you do the other way around, what happens is you become friends. This is very basic fundamental principles of friendship. But as
so trust is very fundamental.
Lostologist, with your Lostologist glasses that you're putting on right now, you're going to see how Jesus asked this woman at the well and said, can you give me something? He didn't need to, but he chose to. As Lostologists, we can take advantage of this time. Just as I asked this lady about Ace Hardware, and she opened up about how she used to be, or how she still is an active LDS and came out of this, all this unique things, and God like is opening this door for this girl's heart for me to just speak into her some lies about LDS, some truths about Jesus, and really to give it like an overview of what that conversation was like. I said, whether it's a Mormon, this random guy that's on the street corner, anybody, I said, I want people to know the real Jesus. And I get it. We're in this coronavirus and it was a unique time. And so I'm social distancing from her, but she's got gloves on and helped me out, but it doesn't mean we can't still be human to people.
Oh God.
And I just said, honestly, what this world needs is a real Jesus. I said, I want you to experience Jesus. I want this guy to behind me to experience Jesus. I said, I want everyone to experience Jesus. And so.
Okay, so why were you fired from your job if you're such a holy roller? If you're such a good man? What are you doing? Okay, well, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, but this is the guy that Jennifer Drake was blowing up and texting the whole right after she found out about her husband allegedly was murdered. Okay. This guy is making me defend LDS. I don't know, guys. Well, praise God, we are getting some of the gospel of Jesus the Christ tonight in whatever form. Amen. I just be nice to people. You know what I'm saying? Be nice. So back to this whole thing. Jennifer Drake is Airbnb-ing her house to Steven. I think it's a way to funnel money. I think it was a way for her to get some money that she needed. And when she needed that money back, when this happened, you would have it then If someone's paying like a deposit, you would get it, and it'd be a way that you could funnel money. Whatever. Moral of the story is, how is this guy never fucking questioned by authorities? Stephen Minnerts, neither Stephen Minnerts were questioned by the police. This was the first phone call before the police were ever called, and her text messages. Right here. This is your bro. I just cannot believe that these people are scamming using Jesus' name. You guys are some sinners. You guys are sinning. You guys are living in sin. But why this is so important is because they said they recorded little Drakey poo. I want to see that one. Where's that one at? Call Airbnb. They will stop it immediately. So I went ahead and called some other people. I said, I got some time on my hands. Who else can we call? I said, let's call that guy that has all the swinger parties. Let's call Craig Faint from Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. And I said, I think he would care how his friend was murdered. I can't take it. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, though. So, abusing the name of Christ is blasphemy. I agree. These are nothing but a bunch of puke breaths. Okay? This is all lies. Okay? All of this shit is lies. But she created this lostology. Like, what is lost? I thought it was like, going to be some like chain, some Jesus chain, like I don't know. No. They created this lostology on their own and said, and made it seem like, oh, pray for, she sent the text to Brian. It's like, remember to keep our other son in your prayers. He's probably so nervous. Well, it's like, why aren't you there? Why didn't you go to it? Stephen's having, so-and-so speak tonight. Brenner spoke last week. They took pictures and I was, video recorder, take pictures, get everything you need. Well, where the fuck were you, Jennifer? None of your kids are with you. You got a ride for the other one to go to soccer. These two are together, the Brenner and the next one. They're allegedly with Stevie Pooh. You got your daughter. She's with your friend Beth. Where the fuck are you, Jennifer? Why is Uber telling you to update your driving papers and text messages if you're not an Uber driver? Never saw that before. Why are you asking Angela where she buried her dog? You know that? On the day that Bryan Drake was murdered, Jennifer Drake is asking her friend Angela where she buried her fucking dog. And then Angela had to come clean with the Lord, okay? And she came clean and said, oh, God, I know we buried him in the woods and we shouldn't have because it's against the law. Well, I think you're in the clear, Angela, because Jennifer's over here murdering people. I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. Hold on. I want to get the right wording here. She's over here giving this woman a hell of a time, burying her dog in the woods. She said, where did you bury the dog? Why are you asking somebody that? Do you guys ask your friends when their dogs die where you buried them? I think that's just invasive. Let's see. Oh, right here. Hello, friend. I am just checking in to see how you are doing. I just saw that Chewy passed away yesterday. I am so very sorry. I have never experienced a sadness such as we had after we put ours down. I completely understand, and my heart hurts for you. I am praying immense comfort for you and Hunter and the kids. Okay. That was at 2:10 p.m. on the day of the murder. Then, Angela loved it. Thank you so much. I almost Marco Polo'd you because I knew you would understand. We buried our dog today. It's so, so hard. Thanks for the love and prayers. Ready? We buried our dog today. The next question by Jennifer fucking Drake is, where did you bury him? Where did you bury him? Where'd you bury him? Where'd you bury Chewy? Angela's like, somewhere, question mark. Like, what? She was so scared to tell Jennifer the sin she just committed. Where did you bury Chewy? And she's like, somewhere, question mark. And then she said, incoming call or incoming text at 4:11 p.m. We kind of broke the law, but didn't harm anything. It's in the woods. What the fuck? Oh my God. I can't. You guys, I just can't. Who is going... Do you understand that Netflix is already giving me a hard time for the storyline? But on the day of the murders, she is telling Angela, I'm so sorry to hear about your dog. Where did you bury your dog? Where did you bury your dog? And she's like, somewhere, question mark. Like, what? And then she says, we kind of broke the law, but didn't harm anything. In the woods. Oh my God, shit. Then she sends out a text message to Brenner. Please tape Hudson for me, please. Video, audio, anything. Please tape him. Why was she so desperate? Why can't Stevie Pooh just do it on live? What do you mean? Then Brenner says, okay. And then finally, Jennifer gets back to Angela that just basically poured her heart and soul out by admitting that she broke the law and that she buried the dog out in the back in the woods. Jennifer says, oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. Well, guess what, Angela? You're going to have the last laugh, okay? Because while you were out, I don't know, being a sinner, putting your dead dog in the woods, Jennifer Drake's over there counting down the minutes until she gets to call her life insurance. Then at 5:45 p.m. Pray for Hudson. He is speaking at Lostology right now, and he is very stressed out. Why would he be stressed out? Look at, he's with Stevie Pooh. Stevie Pooh's got it all under control.
We had a very gentle, great conversation. Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before Gentiles, that's me, kings, and the children of Israel. Verse 16, why not? I'll throw it in there. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. Word of wisdom, different from word of knowledge. Where do we find these? 1 Corinthians what? 12. So, Shelly, thank you. I love you. Shelly just commenting after commenting. It's just pumping me up. I'm going to start yelling. Okay, word of wisdom. It is a direction. What is wisdom? This is how this is Stephen's definition. I didn't come up with this. It's probably.
Oh my God, that's right. Shelly was on the comment section saying, amen, hallelujah. Amen. Okay. So let's see what happens next in the book of Christ. Okay. So, just when I thought things couldn't get any more fucked up on the day that Bryan died, I was very interested in why Brenner would call his boss at 6:50 to say, hey, his dad has been shot in the leg, like 30, 40 minutes before his mom, ever took the phone call, whatever. So it was like, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Now, at 6:52 p.m., just a couple minutes after Jennifer and Bryan Drake had their 13-second phone call, where he said, I'm still with a patient, which I don't think ever happened like that, because Bryan wouldn't have answered the phone if he in fact was with a patient. He didn't answer his phone when he was with patients. That is something that I asked a bunch of his patients, and no, he would not answer calls. That just didn't happen. So oh yes, here we go. I found a Family Feud episode. And you're going to say, what does Family Feud have to do with this, Lana? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Family Feud had the pastor's family on Family Feud in September of 2023, just a couple weeks ago. The Owens family are the pastors of this City Heart Church, whatever. Okay. So I was looking up Family Feud episodes that featured the Owens family. And the reason it's important is because Pastor John Owens, J.O., was interviewed with a lawyer for this case. He needed to have his lawyer present with him. Okay. But something stuck out odd to me about that interview. And it was his time frame with that interview. He said that he was present at Amber's house, and then they went over to Jennifer Drake's house after they were at Amber's house, and they were like all together, relatively quickly after she found out about the shooting of her husband. Well, then I have a question for Micah Owens, Micah Dell. If you, in fact, were with Jennifer Drake, with your husband and other couples, why in the world would you ever text message Jennifer at 9:06 p.m. and saying, lifting you up in prayer, my friend, let me know what we can do? I don't think I would text message somebody that if I was with them at 9:06 p.m. But that is something that I would text them if I just found out. 9:06 p.m. is right after 8:59 p.m., which goes with the timeline, the real timeline. So you don't text that to somebody that you are hanging out with, that you are comforting while you're sitting there waiting, to find out. Now, at 9:34 p.m., Stephen Minert gets a text message. Walk away from the house and call me. During this phone call, which lasts a couple minutes, Brenner Drake immediately starts to text his mom like a maniac saying, update. And then lo and behold, Jennifer Drake says, not sure, I'm on the phone with the police at 9:30. At 9:36 and 22 seconds. Well, no, you weren't, Jennifer. At 9:36 and 22 seconds, you were on the phone with Steve fucking Minert. You liar. Phone records would indicate that she was not on the phone with the police at 9:36 and 22 seconds when she told her son, I can't answer you right now. I'm getting an update. At 9:36 and 22 seconds, she was on the phone with Stephen Minert. Well, why is your son texting you if he is in fact with Stephen Minert? I get it that you had him walk away from the house. Well, what house? Like the group home he's living in, the house where his friends are at, or the house where your kids are at? What the fuck? Okay? No. So she lies to her son and says, not sure, I'm on the phone with the police. No, you weren't. Your phone records indicate that you were on the phone with Stephen Minert at 9:36 and 22 seconds. Then Brenner asks you, why are you driving back? Why are you driving back? Meaning, why are you coming back from fucking Bonner's Ferry? And that's the $1 million question right there. Why are you driving back? Then Jennifer Drake at 9:37 tells her son, go ahead and cancel our work tomorrow, just in case you need to come up to be here with him. What? Then Brenner says, I already did. And that's when I called his employer. And his employer told me, well, Brenner called me at 6:50. Well, so guess what all of this is called, guys? Okay, this is called fucking staged. Okay, all of this shit right here is staged with her son, Brenner. Then Brenner says, I already called, and he actually offered to come over to the house, but he said it in a way like this. Dwayne offered to head over to the house. If you are in fact at your house, that's not how you would say that. You would say, Dwayne offered to come over to the house. Head over to the house means that you're not there. Okay? Now, then Jennifer says, okay, go to bed and we'll let you know first thing in the morning. What? Literally, these are 4 and 5 seconds apart from each other. They're texting back and forth. Okay. Then Brenner says, okay. And then Jennifer says, nothing. Then Brenner says, you think I can go to bed? Then he says, but he's okay, right? Then Jennifer says, go to bed. I may not know for a while. Go to bed. I may not know for a while. Again, this is all at 9:37 to 9:39. Like back and forth shotgunning text messages. Okay. Then immediately after she says, go to bed, I may not know for a while, she texts Sherry Sprague, who's Josh's wifey poo, and says, he is dead. He is dead. That's it. He's dead. He's dead. He is dead. He's dead. Then, of course, Brenner says, okay, to the fact that you want me to just go to bed. But then Sherry says, I know. How the fuck does Sherry know that Bryan Drake is dead at 9:30 or at 9:54? Who did you talk to, Sherry? Well, all of our other friends when we knew about it way earlier. Okay. Then the most amazing thing happens. And Jennifer's sister sends Jennifer to join her My Life 360 circle at 11:46 p.m. Then at 4:30 in the morning, well, her mom's trying to come there in the middle of the night, and they don't even know where fucking Jennifer's not answering her calls. But at 4:30 in the morning, Jennifer reaches out. Oh, hey there. That's the last thing you want to do is fucking text me on this thing. Your shit's just going to pop up. Oh, hey, Steven.
Came up some other time. This is what it makes sense to me. It's the application of knowledge. Why don't you guys leave some comments or something that we could pray about or nothing? And in about 2 minutes,
okay,
give or take, maybe less, I'll just
hey, Steve.
pray finishing for Daniel's knee, and we'll just pray for the end of the class until next week's Lostologist.
Wait a second.
I'm going to have to pre-warn you to buckle up before he even speaks, because the next Lostologist is going to speak. Oh, it's going to bless you. Okay, so if anybody's leaving any messages, now would be a good time. Otherwise, I don't mean to take up more of your time, and I'm just going to start praying. So, okay, no one's commenting. So I'm just going to start praying, and we're just going to ask Jesus to just do what he does and equip us. Are you guys blessed? Are you guys encouraged? Are you guys wanting to get out of your house because you're in quarantine? Are you guys wanting to be in a Lostology class in person? Me too. I hope you guys are blessed. Sorry if I offended you. Not really. I love you. I mean, it's just what it is.
Who are you?
Ethan's blessed. Thank you. Okay. Ian, I repent and confess. God uses jacked up people like me for his glory. Okay. I want to encourage you guys. It's okay. He's not looking for a masterpiece. He's perfecting us. He is the masterpiece. He's building us up. Book of Jude, the third verse before the end. He says he's perfecting us.
Wow.
Right? For it with you. So this week is this. Continue with those 5 people that I've been encouraging you to talk to. Elijah Shipman and Shelly Erickson, both future Lostologists. Elijah, one of his 5, led somebody to, by the grace of God, led somebody to Jesus this last week. Shelly Erickson, got off the phone with her today, led one of her 70-plus-something-year-old people that was on the 5 to Jesus the other day. You guys, this class is producing fruit, but it's not just, it's you. So I got 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, now would be a good time. Shelly, I love you. You're awesome. Melissa, I know I miss you guys too. So why don't you guys leave some comments or something that we could pray about or nothing? And in about 2 minutes, give or take, maybe less, I'll just pray finishing for Daniel's knee, and we'll just pray.
Why aren't you praying for the Drake family? Hallelujah. What is going on in the world? Oh my God. Oh God, he's praying for Daniel's knee. What about Bryan Drake's life? Anyways, this is the man that Jennifer Drake was texting with, calling with, and in the end, she says at 4:30 in the morning, my friend, Bryan was killed tonight. I have no words. Please pray for us. And then, I think Amber, I think Spencer, I think Sherry, I think Josh, I think Dan, I think Hunter, I think Angela. I think that this core group of people who hung out with the Drakes are in for a whirlwind. They are in for a whirlwind, so much so that I'm going to end my live by calling I'm going to have one phone call here. I saved the best for last. And I'm calling old members that were in Brian and Jennifer's circle of, they were no longer in their like special Wednesday night. I don't even know what you want to call it, group. About to find out. Let's see. Hopefully this girl's still around. I want to know why why she no longer was with Bryan Drake.
Hi, this is Nikki. I'm going to need to answer the phone. Please leave a message.
Oh, perfect. Hey, Nikki. This is Lana calling. I'm actually calling about Bryan Drake and the unsolved homicide of Bryan Drake back in 2020. I was given your information and told to get in touch with you that you might have some information of you guys used to do private sessions together in the private group, in the study group, Bible study group. I was just wondering if you possibly had anything to say about why you guys no longer like continued on with the Drakes with those private sessions. People were saying that you guys were like flakes. I think that there's a different story and was just hoping to maybe talk to you and touch base. Again, Lana, you can give me a call on my cell phone. Okay. Next up, let's give Jamie a call. 1208. Ding, ding, ding. 9145. There we go.
Please leave your message for 20862.
Hi, I'm trying to reach Jamie. I believe this is your phone number. If you could just give me a call back when you get a chance, Lana. My cell phone number is. And I am calling in regards to doing some investigative journalism in regards to the unsolved murder of Bryan Drake. I was given your contact info and that you at one point had some time that you spent with him in private sessions. And so I was hoping just to touch base with you on those private gatherings with Bryan and Jennifer. Thank you so much for your time and look forward to speaking with you. Well, I guess we should just call Steven Minert, right? Okay, 1, 2, let's see, we'll try one more. Call Stevie Pooh.
This is Ashley Coleman. Please leave a message. And
I'm gonna have to text her. It's not late over there. It's only 8 p.m. Well, I'm gonna call. Let's see. I think it's this one. I can't remember. I can't keep them all straight. Let's see. Well, like I said, until next time, we don't all live on the East Coast. Nah. Lostology. Anyways, you guys, I'm trying to get my hands on it, but there is a video from March 12th, allegedly 2020. And I want that videotape. I want the videotape of allegedly in this type of an atmosphere, the son of Jennifer Drake spoke. And he was allegedly so nervous. But where is it? Where is it? Nowhere to be seen. So I'll still keep at it. Until next time, guys, you guys rock.
In trouble.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.